Hello and welcome to SBK Training session number 2. Today we're going to be going over the contacts page, and we're going to be going over the contact views, the 3 different tabs, adding a contact, adding a company, account descriptors, contact records, prospecting, communications, and appointments with the appointments in the contact records. So let's begin. Across the top here, these are the tabs we always look at. Last training session we looked at schedule, and now we're going to be looking at contacts. So let's come here. As I mentioned, there are 3 ways to view the contacts here in 3 separate sections. You have contact records, company list, and optimized list. Contact records are specific contacts that have been entered into the system. So you'll see under my name, a lot of these are printing accounts that we'll go into the descriptor letters later, that I have entered myself into the system. Company list is a list of every single company inside Smart Office Services, not just that I've entered. And then optimized list is we can just pull up records based on questions they've answered in the survey. So this is really useful, especially for me if I'm doing printing. I can look at who's answered the question yes on printing. And this is going to give me a list of everyone who says yes, they're interested in printing, and I can pull up this account and call them and start a sales call right away. So let's go back to contact records. Oops, looks like it popped away from my screen there. Alright. So for example, I see Andy Hall here. If I wanted to search for Andy Hall, I may not put in the whole name. One thing to know with looking in SBK is to always be selective in the things you're searching for. I'd put in the most basic information. I would just type in Andy. And you'll see right away it's going to bring back everything with the letters A-N-D-Y in it. It's a phonetic search, so it's not like a Google search where it will break down by exactly what you're asking. That's what we always recommend, searching the simplest terms at first. Company list. This is the same thing. Let's say, for example, I want to look up Infomed. I'm going to type in the company name Infomed and hit search. Now, I see that Infomed has a lot of different accounts here. And what does all that mean, and what is that? So what I want to look at is I'm going to expand the first name column here. And I'm also going to expand the company name. I see Infomed has a furniture account, and they also have a sales account. Now, they also have contact records listed here. So for example, I have Janet Camp as a contact record under the company list. That does show up. But anytime we're looking for someone where sales data is going to be under, the first name will be sales account. The first name is always sales account for any account. You're going to be looking for customer and company data, and that's the one you're typically going to want to search for. So let's pull up sales account. Great. So now we're taking a look at the sales account here in Infomed, and this is the contact record screen. This tells me a little bit about the contact in terms of their information, who the current sales rep is, any communication notes you've had from the past, and you'll see tabs along down here that describe different parts of the customer that we can get into a little bit later. Communications, I'm sure you recognize from the schedule, because that's part of what happens when you complete an appointment. Across the top, you also have tabs. You have the contact information tab, where you can have home and primary business and secondary business, and the prospecting tab. The prospecting tab is really important because here we're able to answer questions about the customer and get an idea about themselves. So how many employees they are, when does your lease expire. It gives us an ability to look into the customer and see just enough about them to find out what we can do next. So for example, like I showed you in that optimized list in the contact record screen here, those are the questions that get answered. Are we interested in graphic design or printing? If we put yes, it will pull up and populate in here. And also if you put yes, it'll send me an email personally, which is really nice. Same thing if you answer the question yes, they're interested in water. Our water director, Ari Cohen, is going to get an email for him. It really helps us stay on top of helping the customer and getting a total share of their wallet to make sure we can reduce their cost in every area possible. So in the Communications tab, this is really important because this is where we store all the information and all the notes from any appointments that we go on. I'm going to drop this date range way back here, and I'm going to take a look at different appointments and different things that we've done. You also have two tabs here, View for this company only or View for the contact only. So company and contact, that toggle is really important. Right now I'm only looking at communications that have been written under this contact record. If I want to look at every contact record in the company, I would select this dial, and that list is going to get a little longer. So right now I see that I made a note here, and I can pull that up and open it. Spoke to Jessica Long. She placed an order at 4 o'clock, needed it by 9 a.m. next day. So I made a note here that we went the extra mile to help the customer. So let's say, for example, if Infomed comes to me next week and says, we just would like to change to Staples, we've changed personnel, and we want to start buying from Staples. I can pull up these records and I can say, hey, I have a list of records that go back years that I want to show you, that things that we've done to go above and beyond to help you, plus a whole host of other ways we've been able to reduce your cost. And here's a great example on the 15th where you needed something by 9 a.m. next day and you placed the order at 4 o'clock. So we took it on our dime to do the extra next day service and get that to you. And it's a way that you can really fight your own battle and hold your own against someone who's doing a personnel change and doesn't know anything about smart office services. One thing I want to go over here is the Other Contacts tab. These are other contacts that are currently tied to this sales account. And Jessica Moreland is someone who is a contact at Infomed. She is an end user at Infomed, and she's attached here to this company. It also is the same way you would do it for viewing contact only or viewing company only. That is the differential there. Viewing company shows everyone attached to that contact record in that company, or viewing the contact only shows just that person. So let's go ahead and come out of this. You'll see we have two X's here. This is a little fun fact. The big X is for SBK itself, and the small X is for the window that you're in. So I'm going to close this window, and it's going to bring me back to the desktop screen. I'm going to open up Contacts again. So under Contact Records, I have a new customer that's never bought from us before that I want to enter in here. How do I do that? We're going to come here and add new contact. And we're going to do Mr. If I can spell his name, Keanu Reeves, Senior. And then company name, I'm going to put in the Matrix. Now right away, you'll notice that when I go to the next field, this just changed. It's now changed to New Company Wizard. It recognized that the Matrix isn't currently a company that's part of our database. So it wants to know more about the company. So let's tell them more. The Matrix is software development. And their address is 123 Fake Street in Baltimore, Maryland. Primary phone is 1-800-RED, well, 555-8888. And primary email is neo@matrix.com. And we'll continue. And now you'll see that we're back to the Contact Wizard, and some of this stuff is already populated. So the address and phone number for this Mr. Keanu Reeves at the company of the Matrix is already filled in here, which is great. And title is The One. And now let's hit continue. Mr. Keanu Reeves is now added to this company and added to Smart Office Services as a searchable contact record. They do not yet have a sales account. A sales account will only be added when they make their first purchase in Red Cheetah. SBK and Red Cheetah, they sync overnight. So the accounting data and the different sales data that you find here will always be transmitted overnight. Now let's go here, and I want to set an appointment to meet Mr. Keanu Reeves. And you'll notice I have some tabs here. Appointments is the next one. If I want to set an appointment here, I can click Add New. And you'll see the appointment editor looks very similar to the last one we looked at in the schedule. It's taking its time here with this database. Okay, so now we see new appointment, notes, attendance, looks very similar. But you'll notice in the attendance field, it's already filled in. Because I started this appointment from that contact record screen, it knew who that appointment was going to be for. Remember, when you start it from just your schedule, the system has no idea who your appointment is going to be with. The attendance tab is where you're going to want to add the company and where the notes and the different information from that appointment are going to be stored. And again, since we did it from the contact record, it knows it's going to be for the company called The Matrix. Let's go back to the information. I'll set this appointment. Have bagels and discuss office products. And I'm going to put bagel party. Whoops. And I'm going to set it for next week, or pardon me, December 6th. And it's going to be in the evening, because that's when me and Keanu Reeves want to have bagels. And you guys know all about adding employees, setting a recurring appointment, and we'll save this to the schedule. And let's go back to that contact record. And I can now even search him. And bam, right there he is under the matrix and company list. You'll see now the appointment is here. Have bagels and discuss office products on that date with my agent. And who am I going to see? Keanu Reeves. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about today are descriptors for accounts. And let me show you an example of an account descriptor. Descriptors are letters that we put after the company name to tell us more about that company for our personal use. You're going to see letters like P, F, M, or W. P stands for printing, so that means it's a printing account. F stands for furniture, and that means it's a furniture account. So let's look at one of those for example. I'm going to type in a company, One Source Water. Oops, and I bet they're going to be under One Source Water. There they are, see? It's that finicky. If you don't have it exactly right, it won't pull it up. So you'll see One Source Water has a sales account for office products and a sales account for printing. And they also have a sales account for their Austin location that was on credit card, and now they've since combined them. Let's look at something that's going to be furniture. Well, it looks like they don't have a furniture account, but here's another one, MPS. That's Managed Print Services. That's a Managed Print Services account. So again, let's go over those descriptors. It's going to be M, which stands for monthly, and that's for every month they get billed. W stands for weekly, and that's every week they get billed. P stands for printing, F stands for furniture, and MPS stands for Managed Print Services. So that in total sums everything up here. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. There'll be a test to follow, and that test will be due in a week. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. We appreciate you looking. Have a great day, and I'll make sure I delete this contact of The Matrix and Keanu Reeves, since they're fake, right here out of the system with the delete contact button. Right now you'll see it's going to delete any appointments that we have, and that's just fine. Perfect. And they're gone, and you'll see right up here, deleted. We can get back to the desktop. And just so you guys know, one last quick thing, the proper way to always close SBK is to come and hit File, Log Out, and Close System. If you hit this big red X up here in the corner to close SBK, it's just like holding the power button on your computer and shutting it down mid-communication. So make sure you always come to File, Log Out, and Close System. Little known glitch, if you accidentally hit Log In as another user, it will crash. So just be very careful. Thanks so much for watching.